Look at that. Hey guys, AJ here back with another one for you. So guys, you might have heard that Orange Man, he issued an executive order banning all DEIA foolishness, right? Diversity, equity, inclusion, foolishness, right? And some people actually think that this DEI is a good idea, right?
Some people are really fucking stupid.
Clown world, right? And guys, you already see Walmart, Target, and all these other businesses pulling out of this. And that means that there's thousands of these knuckleheaded DEI workers that got an email that said,
You're fired!
Because guys, let's be honest, the only thing more useless than HR employees are DEIA employees, right? Clown world. So guys, we're gonna go to dumpster fire known as TikTok and look at some of these knuckleheads whining about the death of DEI. But before we do, like, subscribe, drop a comment, guys. I have a second channel, check that out. I have a Discord, check that out. Check out the playlist at the end, and let's get into this. And of course, she's doing makeup, guys. Of course, right?
To be the most annoyed and angry Get Ready With Me you've probably ever watched. It was just announced that Target, among a lot of other companies, are scaling back on their DEI initiatives and programs that they committed to around 2020. And I think we all know what happened in 2020. I don't have to recap that year. But what makes me even more angry is because in 2020, that was my job. I worked in diversity, equity, inclusion and at that time, it was a difficult time to work for the company, but it was also a very hopeful time because there were all of these companies and all of these businesses that were finally starting to listen to us, to listen to people of color, that they can't just keep catering to one type of people. So when I read the news that some big brands today are removing, scaling back, completely just taking away their DEI programs and initiatives that were set years ago, it just made me really upset. Because I don't think people realize how much of those programs actually affect business and actually affect our experiences, whether that's shopping, whether that's entertainment. I'm going to use Target as an example because that is the article that I just read, along with Amazon, along with, I'm sure, Tesla, Walmart, these big brands. I think when most people think of DEI programs at a company, they mostly think of Pride Month and disability inclusion and AAPI month and things like that. It's so much more than that. For example, a lot of DEI teams are in place to make sure that as a company as a whole, they're not putting out products or they're not putting out models for those products that could be deemed as offensive, that would not be accurately representing a certain culture, cultural appropriation. So say there is...
So guys, let's just pump the brakes right there. So to sum this up, she just said it, guys, in so many words that her job and everyone in it is absolutely useless. So we're here to finger wag, right, and lecture everyone about if you're culturally appropriating things or if your models are offensive. Clown world.
Is a Lunar New Year campaign. I'm just using this as an example. These companies already have a team of dedicated people to come up with the concepts, come up with the campaign as a whole, and then hopefully they are working with DEI teams to review the models they're going to be using for that campaign, to review language is appropriately being used, to make sure that if there's anything related to Lunar New Year, any of the cultures represented, that it's accurately portrayed. This goes for anything in store, anything on the app. When you remove that team, who do you think is left to make those decisions and to make sure that everything is culturally accurate? And
the people who deserve to be there. That's who's left.
Appropriate. No one. There is no one. People that work there that maybe, hopefully, have a diverse background, but that's not their job. Their job is not to be the checkpoints and make sure everything from a cultural standpoint is accurate, is right. And oftentimes, when there are not people of color in the room to do these checks and balances, these celebrations, these months are removed. So you'll start to see less of it because there's not enough people that can help. There's not enough people that can help accurately portray any of the concepts or campaigns that are getting approved. So that commercial where they were going to hire an Asian family for Lunar Year, cut. It's not happening anymore because we don't have anyone on our teams now. Make sure that we're hiring the right people. It means less opportunities for people of color. It also is bad for business because we shouldn't be just doing things for profit, but if you can make a profit and celebrate culture at the same time, it's a win-win for everybody. This analogy can be made all sorts of categories. It means the movies being made are cut about people of color that are furthering diversity, equity, and inclusion in representation. That means those are cut. Those are not a priority anymore. So yeah, I'm just annoyed because as someone who worked in DEI, that was my full-time job for a big corporate company, I know what it means when they are scaling back on DEI. And I know it's so much bigger than just eliminating a program. It means eliminating jobs and eliminating opportunities for people of color, and makes me really upset. And also, as now a full-time actor, content creator, performer, it also is taking away opportunities for us because the more people behind the scenes at these jobs that are pushing for diversity and inclusion, the more you're going to see more of us on screen as well. It really does affect a huge part of the business, and it makes me so frustrated. It's no longer a priority, and I really do blame Trump. I really do blame him because him saying that and him eliminating DEI, it's a trickle effect on every other business. And this is going to be a really long 4 years. This is about to...
There it is, guys. First of all, why do they talk so goddamn much, right? And guys, all this is her... Now, guys, hold on. I'm going to break out the race card, okay? Guys, I am black, and I think DEI is stupid, right? And it's dumb. Guys, she's Asian. Guys, go to Google and look at how many times they've had DEI conferences, and it says, no whites and no Asians allowed. So people who look like her don't even benefit from DEI. Clown world. Guys, I'm black and I can compete with anyone. White, Hispanic, right? Middle Eastern, Asian. Because I know that I can work and I can outwork people. I don't need DEI. And this knucklehead here said that DEI jobs are opportunities. So is she trying to say that people of color can only get DEI jobs? Right? Why is it that when they say, oh, people of color only move up through DEI, right? It's okay. But when anyone who's anti-DEI says, well, you know what? LDHDT, TV 304s, and people of color only move up through DEI, all of a sudden they say,
how dare you?
Clown world. Look at that. Look at that, guys. She has like 2 or 3 comments here. Someone says, love this. Glad you mentioned it. Someone says, this is really discouraging to hear. Thank you for sharing your story. Accurate representation is so important. And all this is, guys, once again, just like HR lectures everyone about everything dumb, they want to be able to get into organizations they didn't start and lecture everyone. Guys, their hashtags, hashtag Target, hashtag Walmart, hashtag DEI, clown world. Guys, I know. You guys might not be able to understand what this knucklehead says, right?
Silly Jedi. Silly Jedi.
I knew this was coming, but it's already being confirmed that Trump is going to be signing a flurry of executive orders right out of the gate today and tomorrow, up to 100, including ones rescinding federal government diversity, equity, and inclusion policies. If you follow me, if you've seen my page, you know how strongly I feel about diversity, equity, and inclusion and multicultural practices within government, within healthcare, within education, within society as a whole. And this rhetoric is extremely upsetting to me. And I know, based on the comment section of previous videos I've made about this, there are a lot of people who have really disgustingly vile thoughts about what DEI is. They misunderstand what its purpose ever was and why we need it. So I'm preparing myself for the flurry of really negative comments I'm going to get here. But I'm just here to say that this being on his agenda for like right out of the gate as super important should signal to people the kind of presidency he's going for. We can take into account also all of his sweeping policies and executive orders he wants to sign into place around immigration as well and the southern border. And that signals to you exactly what kind of operation he wants here. But you can have all the negative experiences you want to tell me about when it comes to DEI hiring processes. But the fact of the matter is, we live in a society that still necessitates this type of action.
Come on, guys.
You've been had. You've been took. You've been hoodwinked, bamboozled, led astray, run amok.
Come on.
Because we are predicated upon systems that were put into place by white, middle, upper class men. Like it or not, that is the reality. Our healthcare system, our education system, our federal government as a whole. The fact of the matter is, overall, we see minoritized groups still being held down by these systems that people who look like me benefit from keeping in place.
And there it is, guys, right there. Let's pump the brakes. Do you see this posturing and pandering? I'm a white woman and I have to throw myself on this bed of nails to prove that I'm an ally of the dark people. Yay! Right? Please. People like me benefit, but I'm not like the regular because I understand my privilege. You know what? If you want to help, lady, leave. If these systems are so bad and you don't want to benefit from them, take everything you own, give it to a black person, a poor veteran, right? A Hispanic person, and leave, right? But she's not going to do it. Instead, she's going to sit here and lecture everyone else, right? That's all it is. That's all it is, guys. And she thinks she's doing something. Guys, rate the Delulu level.
It's over 9,000!
Clown world. All she wants to do is lecture all you cisgendered hetero men. Come on, man. Come on.
Stupid. We as white people benefit from keeping these things in place, so I think you're panicking. I think you're seeing that somebody's going to take this away. And you think that's tantamount to going after white people. You think that's discriminating against white people. It's not. It's just an attempt to level the playing field. It's an attempt to give everybody the same starting spot. Because that's not how it is right now. But you were so wrapped up in me, you cannot see that you actually need to be willing to give up a little bit of all this privilege you have in order to dismantle the oppressive systems that are still in place and are keeping other people down.
What are you talking about?
Now, like I said, I'm prepared. I know my comment section is not going to pass the vibe check today, okay? I'm ready for it. I'm ready. However, I hope maybe, just maybe, I could reach just one person who used to think like I did and is starting to realize that, you know what? Maybe there is something to this. Maybe I do need to do a little bit of internal work here.
There it is, guys, right there. There it is. There it is. There it is. There's that separation, right? There's this I have the moral high ground now because I've, quote, unquote, done the work and I'm an ally now. I'm not like you guys, right? I'm above you and you're beneath me. Even though you're white and I'm white and we both benefit from these systems, now I can dictate to you what morality is. Come on, man. Absolute foolishness. Look at that.
You stupid woman!
Maybe I do need to start realizing and accepting the types of privileges I have by just looking the way that I do. And hey, let's work to dismantle those things. Let's work to break those walls down. I don't want to live in a society where I have special privileges just because I'm white. I don't want to live in a society where I have special privileges just because I'm heterosexual. I don't want to live in a society where I have special privileges just because I happen to be middle class and comfortable financially. I don't want to live in a society where that's all I have to do and be in order to have special privileges. I want everybody to be on an equal playing field. And I know that y'all don't like that because you think it screams socialism. You think it screams communism. I don't care. I care about human beings, and human beings deserve to be safe. Human beings deserve to have their basic needs met. Human beings deserve to be treated like human beings. And when you start throwing out all of these mass deportation plans and you start saying, let's get rid of DEI, let's get rid of inclusion policies, when you start doing all of that, you are dismantling what's been done to try and make this a better place. You're saying, nah, things the way they were in the 60s are what we want. Do you see what you're saying? And my fear is that a lot of you do see it and you're good with it. That's scary. So I knew.
See that, guys? And guys, these are how these feminists and stuff say they fight for rights, right?
I am woman, hear me roar, in numbers too big to ignore.
Is yelling into a cell phone on TikTok, acting like an ass, right? Guys, she honestly is thinking she's doing something, right? And guys, this is all performance art, right? This is all trying to get brownie points. And look at these stupid glasses, guys, right? But all this, guys, come on, right? She doesn't have anything else going on in her life, right? So she's trying to get brownie points and be able to lecture other people on the internet, right? You know what I mean? It doesn't make any sense. As anyone who listens to this knucklehead, guys, come on. Don't do it. And guys, there are hashtags. Hashtag DEI, hashtag Orange Man, hashtag Executive Order, hashtag Equality, hashtag Equity, hashtag Inclusion, hashtag Diversity, hashtag Kindness, hashtag Love Others. And guys, this white guilt, oh my God, I can't believe I'm white. Guys, don't listen to it. It's a waste of time. Clown world.
Hi, I'm just wondering what you guys are going to do when you explain to your daughters why they didn't get the job over the male counterpart when he applied for the job. Because you see, today our lovely president repealed an act that would require no discrimination, gender, age, sex, disability, ethnic background. Yeah, that's gone now. We're going so far backwards. I don't know how you people don't see it. This is literally going to affect my children, and I'm terrified. The amount of time this will take our country to come back, if we ever come back, years. What he's done and what he's doing, I hope people see. I hope you stand up to this. I hope you wake up. If not, we are screwed. Hi, I'm just...
Do that, guys. Now, here's the funny thing that this knucklehead doesn't understand. Guys, more white chicks have got jobs because of DEI and affirmative action than anyone else, you absolute moron.
You stupid woman!
Clown world. If you look at the numbers, guys, white chicks are the ones out there, right? Talking about, oh yeah, DEI and affirmative action, even though we're strong and independent.
I am woman, hear me roar, in numbers too big to ignore.
They're the ones who are getting an unfair leg up, right? Look at that. They don't care about anyone else. Come on, man. Come on. And the guy, she's getting bodied, right? Person says, I don't agree because if I had a daughter, I know that she'd get the job based on her merits. Someone says, you're wrong. Only qualifications matter. Facts. Look at that. Someone says, my daughters won't grow up expecting ish to be handed to them because of their body parts. Facts. Look at that, guys. Look at that. Someone says, my daughters got to where they are on merit. I I don't know what you're talking about. Look at that. And guys, there are hashtags. Hashtag TikTok is different. Hashtag TikTok is back. Hashtag over 30 club. Hashtag autism awareness. Hashtag Elon and Orange Man. Hashtag equality opportunity gone. Hashtag no more DEI. Hashtag equal opportunity employer clown world.
This episode of We Are Saying the Quiet Part way out loud is Walmart. They have come and said they are going to push back on DEI efforts. No surprise here. We've seen a wave of organizations do this in the past, I'd say, year. Now that we know who the next president's going to be and who gave towards their campaign, I'm not surprised about this.
Look at that.
Given that Walmart's an employer of so many and has literally wiped out business, I feel like this is really kind of where we're going. I'd love to hear in the comments your thoughts about this, because all of the things that they pledged, all of the things that they said they were going to do in 2020, they were going to $100 million over 5 years to fight racism. Well, look, we're not even 5 years in, and they've already chucked the program. So I'd love to hear in the comments your thoughts. Is this going to impact you shopping there? And today,
look at that, guys. Now, guys, the very idea of any company giving $100 million to fight racism is absolutely insane, right?
Some people are really fucking stupid.
How does that even work? Hey, guys, in 2020, right, the wokey wokes, because of the whole BLM thing, guys, they thought that they'd won, right? They were bullying everyone with the LDHD TV and the BLM stuff. But guess like Homeboy says,
Victory has defeated you.
Victory has defeated them, guys. Right? And now no one cares. And guys, our hashtags. Hashtag DEI, hashtag career, hashtag ESG, hashtag LDHGT TV, hashtag Walmart, hashtag not surprised clown world. Now, guys, I know. I have to translate, right?
We now can ban Vapodo.
Trump wants to get rid of all elements of DEI within the military. This includes any generals or admirals, anyone of power in the military that has been a champion for DEI. He wants them gone. The new Secretary of Defense that he's appointed in is really against anything DEI in the military. So Let's talk about this a little bit. Now, there has been a heavy debate about having DEI be a part of the military for a really long time, but listen, I don't work for the military, so I don't have a dog in this fight.
That's obvious.
I believe that a big part of the issue here is that people just do not understand what DEI is. They don't. Because if you take a look at the history of the military, take a look at World War II, the integration of troops is DEI. It is. And they had to do it in a way to make sure that the soldiers had each other's back. That is DEI. It is. Seeing that there are practices to make sure that there's not discrimination, that is DEI. The research that's being done on mental health and how it impacts soldiers and veterans who have different marginalized communities to make sure that they have the mental health, specific mental health support that they need, that's DEI. What I think happened is that the military had progressed when it came to LGBTQ plus issues and matters around race and ethnicity and for women, and it was happening faster than some people who are a little bit behind the times, they're not able to catch up with. I can understand some of the arguments around the way that money is being spent in these areas because I just don't work a lot in budgets, and I know that these programs can be expensive, but to say that it needs to be gutted all together with one broad stroke tells me that there's a huge misinformation on what DEI looks like in the military and in all fields. So we'll see what happens, but a mess, y'all.
There it is, guys. And guys, typical wokey woke tactic of, well, you guys just don't understand it. It's so complex, right? And you guys don't understand it. You're just so dumb, right? Anyone that doesn't agree with our wokey woke philosophy, it's so complex, okay? And I understand it and you don't. Come on, man.
The lie detector determined that was a lie.
And guys, I would say that the military, like joining the military is, like the military has the best way to like make everyone not racist, right? Because in boot camp, right, they just throw you all in there together. You have to make it work, right? The only color that matters is the uniform. You know what I mean? Come on, man. And guys, this whole DEI and military thing is so funny that it's a bunch of people that have never been in the military. And if they have been, they've never been in combat trying to make these decisions for the entire military. Why? Why? It doesn't make any sense. Guys, the bottom line for a business is number one, right? But guys, the bottom line for our military is protecting our freedoms. They cannot be sidetracked by knuckleheads like this.
You stupid woman.
Clown world. Absolutely insane. You guys are hashtags. Hashtag DEI. Hashtag no more DEI. Clown world.
Donald Trump says he's going back to a merit-based system. Going back to where? When was it ever merit-based in America? And you know where they're starting? With diversity, equity, and inclusion. It is January 22nd, folks, and today, federal DEI offices are closing down. Those employees are being put on paid leave, all saying they're going back to a system of merit. But when exactly was that? Was it before the Civil Rights Act, when you had only essentially white men competing for top jobs at top corporations, African Americans locked out of many educational opportunities, many colleges, many positions, women as well? Was it the 70s or the 80s when white women benefited from affirmative action? So you tell me, when was merit the system in America? President Donald...
Look at that, guys. All they do is cry and whine and moan, right? Guys, anyone who feels threatened by DEI going away in their heart knows that they're lazy and unqualified. You know what I mean? Guys, me all through college, grad school, my whole career, guys, I've known that not only do I have to work harder than everyone else, I want to work harder than everyone else. I'm going to be successful regardless, right? Absolutely insane. I don't need to have some quasi guarantee that there's going to be a spot for me. No. This is ridiculous, guys. Ridiculous. Guys, they're going to cry and whine and moan, just like this knucklehead right here, right? And this revisionist history, as if there wasn't black CEOs and Asian CEOs and hell, HBCUs being built in 1920s, 30s, and 40s, right? Guys, there was black doctors and lawyers and stuff back in the late 1800s. You know what I'm saying? What are you talking about? Come on, man. And yes, they had to work 10 times harder, but hey, they got there. There's nothing in life that's worth having is easy to get. You know what I'm saying? Everything that's worth it, you have to work hard for. You have to work really hard for. Come on, man. Guys are hashtags. Hashtag DEI. Hashtag Orange Man. Hashtag equity. Hashtag diversity. Hashtag inclusion. Hashtag end racism. Hashtag Orange Man 2024. Hashtag Black TikTok. Hashtag BLM. Of course. Hashtag breaking news. Hashtag Black Girl Magic, please.
The lie detector determined that was a lie.
Clown world. Guys, there seems to be a reoccurring theme with all these chicks that are whining about DEI going away, right? Right, guys?
We now can ban Vapodo.
You notice how there's never any pretty girls whining about DEI going away? Oh, man.
Announced that he's going to criminalize diversity and equity initiatives in this country.
Good.
And he's going to use the Justice Department to sue and go after schools that participate in those practices. Not only that, he says he's going to take money from those schools that are participating in illegal discrimination practices under the guise of equity and give that money to who he calls victims of those illegal discrimination practices under the guise of equity. In other words, he's going to take money for DEI and give it to white kids. Straight up.
That's the qualification. Donald Trump might be a moron, but there's one thing that he is smarter than a lot of y'all on, is that he understands that the way to control a country is to go infiltrate the public school system and control the flow of information. What makes
just like a lot of the LDHD TVs, right, guys? Right?
You think Donald Trump has good intentions for public school and universities? Why would somebody who is rich and powerful and has no interest in putting their kids in public school have an interest in improving the public school system? Because he's a good guy that loves your kid who he's never met. Everything to Donald Trump is a money-making scheme, including the public school system. And he has a lot of really powerful, really evil people around him convincing him that this is all the right thing to do because they can make money and they can control the flow of information. And they can control who is getting an education and who is not allowed to get it. Not easy to manipulate or easy to manipulate. They know that if they can segregate public school and take away DEI at the university level, that they can segregate our student population.
Whoa, guys, pump the brakes. She's saying Orange Man wants to segregate schools. Guys, you know how many of my friends, right, have sons and daughters that graduated from college, and there was an all-black graduation, an all-Hispanic graduation. There's blacks-only dormitories now in schools. If that's not segregation, I don't know what is, right? And guys, her fingers look like sausage links.
Population. They can change the standards at which we consider a high-quality education for white kids versus brown and black kids. They know all of that works. And it's obvious that a lot of y'all just have not even sat down one time to think about the fact that the reason why Donald Trump is going after schools is because he wants to control you. Trying to make you think your kid who just happens to be Caucasian is getting an unfair shake just because of the color of their skin. They are planning to sue school districts, sue universities, and sue teachers who don't toe the line. And all of y'all out there preaching small government, no interference in government, send it back to the states. It's all bullshit. He's fed you a bunch of lies because he doesn't want states to control their school systems. He doesn't want states to be able to control what's going on in their universities. He wants to control it all from the federal level. And he's played you like a bunch of fiddles. Convinced you that he's going to send you a bunch of money so you can send your kid to private school and that they'll get all this extra money and attention once DEI is taken away. And now that they don't have to compete with black and brown kids, they're going to have a fair shot at getting into a university that they can afford. Bullshit. It's all bullshit. Trump has announced that he's going to criminalize...
So that, guys, another white chick, right? Another strong and independent epheness.
I am woman, hear me roar, in numbers too big to ignore.
Right? Trying to lecture all the cisgendered hetero white men, right? About how evil they are. Right? Guys, that's all this person wants to do is be a Karen and lecture everyone, right? What is she doing, guys? Right? She should just leave. That will be one less white person in the country, right, guys? Right? But no, she was to sit here and just lecture and go on and on and on and on and on about this foolishness. Clown world. Guys, don't listen to idiots like this, right? Because it always was, I know that, I've got privilege, but, I've done internal work that you can't see. That makes me above you guys, and I can lecture you. That's what this is all about. Guys, her hashtags, hashtag teacher, hashtag DEI, hashtag no more DEI, hashtag orange man, clown world.
Breaking news, Donald Trump has directed all federal equity, diversity, and inclusion staff be put on leave and then eventually fired, saying we will forget a society that is colorblind and merit-based. All federal DEI employees are ordered to be put on leave by Wednesday evening, so that is tonight. This order cut funding to DEI initiatives across the board. This also takes back numerous executive orders signed by other past administrations working to promote diversity through federal government. Trump says he aims to restore what is a merit-based hiring system. He's directed the Office of Budget and Management to end all related mandates and policies and programs across all agencies. Guys, we have some...
Now, guys, I don't think her comment section went the way she thought. Because this first person says, people should only be hired by a merit and skills. Orange Man 2025. Someone says, companies were and are eliminating DEI policies and programs at a rapid pace. This is a good thing. Look at that. Someone says, there should be more diversity in basketball. How about that? LOL. Look at that. Someone says DEI is a joke. Man, oh man. Guys, are hashtags. Hashtag Orange Man. Hashtag breaking news. Hashtag executive orders. Hashtag DEI. Hashtag diversity clown world.
So, Trump just signed an executive order to remove all of the DEI from the government offices to be put on paid leave. Oh my goodness. We're already getting started. It's going to be DEI is a part of our civil rights. DEI is to ensure that all people are treated equally. DEI is to ensure that people are not discriminated by their gender, their sex, their color, their religion. We got a fight on our hands. Martin Luther King and so many other people fought for our civil rights. Blood was shed. Freedom riders fought so we can vote. Stand up and fight. Stand up and fight. Stand up and fight. Stand up and fight. It's your right.
If you believe anything this knucklehead said,
You've been had. You've been took. You've been hoodwinked. Bamboozled. Led astray. Run amok.
guys, her first comment here, and this is from another black person, says, white women are the ones that benefit the most from DEI. To hell with it. Next person says, DEI is to ensure that all qualified straight whites are not hired or promoted ahead of non-qualified gays, lesbians, minorities, and transformers. And this is a black guy saying this too. Look at that, guys. Look at that. Someone says, okay, fight. I'll fight. You first. She's saying, stand up and fight. Why don't you go out there? Right? Another one of these 304s who wants us men to do the work for him. You guys are hashtags. Hashtag Orange Man. Hashtag DEI. Hashtag Orange Man 2025. All right, you guys. This is AJ. I appreciate you guys. Like, subscribe. Guys, DEI is dead. I'm happy. And guys, I'm out of here. Have a good one.